Hello, welcome back to another episode of Polished and Powerful. Today, my name is Jerica Rose, and I have Karen on the podcast. We met through social media, and she has a lot of things happening for herself, and she's also breaking curses like me. So, yes, we're going to get right into it. You want to do an intro background about yourself?
All right. Well, thank you. And I always think about this question, right? Because it's the typical stuff, right? I'm a mom, I'm a wife, those good stuff. And I do enjoy those titles. But as I am 44 and refining myself, right? Who I am when someone asks me who I am. I'm a full-time corporate professional, working in the healthcare industry now for, oh my God, over 20 something years. I'm also an entrepreneur, right? Nothing wrong with corporate America, but it's to the point where I'm at that top where I wanted to figure out what it is for me. So I like being into entrepreneurship, which it creates and help build a life that me and those attached to me deserve. So it's really, to me, it's really just a full-time entrepreneur, full-time corporate America, part-time entrepreneur with the goals of going full-time entrepreneur in some future as I continue to work on those things that I'm putting in place for my family. But I do love my family. I'm a wife, kids. My kids are grown. I'm a dog mom. Absolutely love them as well.
Nice. What kind of dog do you have? I love dogs.
I have a pet, and he's looks he looked meaner than what he is. He really is a baby, but that's another story. It's different names and different titles for those animals, but he's absolutely adorable.
Yeah, yeah. And I always ask other moms, like, we get the corporate America too, but what made you get into entrepreneurship? Because I know all of us want freedom.
Right, and I think that's it, Jerica. To be honest, I'm that typical millennial, right? I was raised by those baby boomers. Go to school, get that good paying job, work your way up corporate America, have those babies, get married. I've done all of that. I got the degrees around my wall that solidify all of that. But I got to a point in my life, probably around about 5 years ago. It just wasn't enough. I got tired of the mundane. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. And I'm like, I've done all of these great things, but who goal was it when they say live that 40 40 40? What do that even mean, right? So I was all ready to live that 40 40 40 life, great income, all of that until life started happening in my life. So on top of being a mom, a wife, all those great things, I've always been a caretaker for my mom as well. And that particular time when I realized this is not it, or I realized that my job at that time, I'm not with this company anymore, didn't love me as much as I love them, I had to make the decision on. I lost my mom in her battle of her sickness, and I had to go to them and said, "Hey, I need some time off." And after being with them for 17 years, I wasn't expecting the response of you could only be approved for 3 days. So that really just hit me in a point that I realized, okay, I am at this point, I was 36 maybe. I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, I knew I needed to heal. I had kids that was going through it. So I decided at that point I needed to separate from that particular job. I took that year to really focus on myself. And then I was like, it gotta be something else. What is it? I kept praying, and I always tell people, whether you're religion, a lot of people call it manifestation right now. Whatever your goals, whatever you label it as, I was like, God, what is it for me? I wanted something else that is the true freedoms, right? I want to be able, if I'm sick, I want to be sick. I missed out on so much of raising my kids because, like I said, they're grown now. They're 25 and soon to be 24. But I missed out on so much. And I'm like, that is not the true freedom. Like corporate America is like climbing that ladder to get there just to realize that they have snatched so much of your life. And I'm like, when I went back in corporate America, it was really just to get those two kids off to college, in college, get them on their career. But I was like, it got to be something else. So when I jumped into entrepreneurship, I didn't know what it was I was doing. Again, that was me just saying, I need something else. It just wasn't enough. So, in a nutshell, I knew the freedom that I really want when we talk about time, personal, financial freedom. Is not. I'm not going to be able to accomplish those through just corporate America. Nothing. I tell people all the time, I'm not beating corporate America. It gave me some great personal development skill. It got some good points, but I realized in order to keep the income and to keep those things, I would have to sacrifice those time and personal freedoms that I never achieved. So that's really why I jumped into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And that makes sense too. And that's why I'm fighting for residual income now is because I watched my mom struggle for so long. She couldn't be at certain events. And I'm like, I'm just basically learning from her. You know what I'm saying? And I have a daughter now, so I have to do things differently. So we get corporate America, but I'll be trying to tell people, okay, use that money to invest into more money. So I like how you put that. Yeah.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
that goes back to my mom too. I watched my mom retire, got a good 2, 3 years before she passed, and it that's not what I want for me nor my kids. If it's a such thing as a silver spoon baby, I want my kids to realize what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we're gonna work hard, but I'm still gonna be there. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what is life for you like now? I know you mentioned corporate and you juggling multiple things. So how is that for you? Like your typical day?
Oh God, life now being a business owner and being corporate America. A good word to really say it is being free and stretching. Because you know you working for those freedoms, and in the beginning of entrepreneurship I always tell people it's going to feel like a job, right? Because you got to get the momentum, you got to get the income, you got to get whatever it is, so it's going to feel like a regular, it's going to feel like you working two jobs for a very very long time, but the rewards come at the end. So it feel like I'm freeing, I'm getting free where I got some of my time freedom back. I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm earning residuals, right? When I heard residuals, it came with dead people, to be honest. No offense, Michael Jackson
Period.
and those
Right.
people, right? But to know that entrepreneurship give you that true freedom, which is residual, you'll never get that from a 9 to 5. You'll never get that. So it's stretching me as well because what I do is really, really live off a calendar. I mean, every single day I do the best of my job. I like my job. Nothing's wrong with it. I get paid decent. It's just that it's nothing I want to do until I'm 60s and 70. It was funny. I was just looking at one of my forms and it was like, oh, you could pull this money out at 70 and a half. I'm like, oh my God,
Who has
that is
time for
not
that? Right. Yeah.
right. So just knowing that I don't have to wait around on my 401k or all these other financial things that waits on that. That's the thing. But I live off my calendar, so I pretty much I work my 9 to 5. My lunch breaks are putting in time for my business. I have to really. Of course, I have a marketing business. So if my team need anything, if I have to do any follow up calls, and then when I'm off, it really is. I say my 9 to 5 is really working my 9 to 5 with the exception of when I have a break. And then from my 5 to whatever, because you know entrepreneurship is stopping to whenever, is really me focusing on my goals. So it's really, I know it sounds crazy to say, oh, I want to move from a time clock to really I want to work for myself forever, but just to know that is the feeling of freeing myself is really that sacrifice that you have to do in the beginning. And then and I'm around so many people that I see that it works, if that makes sense. So it's not that, oh, people just say is this. I'm really around people younger than me in their 30s, retired, making six figures, retired from corporate America, working, making six figures, working for themselves. I'm like, okay, it's capable. So that's really, I live off my calendar. I absolutely live off my calendar.
Yeah. Amen to that because I feel like if my life isn't structured, it'll, you could tell in your business and yeah, it definitely shows up. So I'm
Right.
glad you touched on that too, because I had jumped in one of your lives one day. I'm like, you would think she a full time entrepreneur.
No, it's just a sacrifice, and everybody be like, "How do you balance?" I don't even think it's a balance.
Right.
You just. Some days I'm great at being an entrepreneur. Some days I'm great at being mom and all those other things. But the goal is not liking in enough area long enough where it goes the time. I'm like, okay, let me get up. Yesterday, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do anything. My family's here. Let me enjoy the moment, right? It just really just don't let it go for a while. But it's not a balance. Some days I'm great at it, and some days I'm great at being a wife, a mom, and those other titles that you hold.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yeah. And that's how I know I was getting older because I couldn't really think straight without my calendar. I'm like, what is going on?
It's funny when you grow up. I used to have calendars all the time. Couldn't pay me to use it. Now I'm like, look, I can't even make this appointment right now. I don't know my life without my calendar in my hand. I have a small one, I have a big one, and I use my phone. So all of it works for me. But my main one is actually I have a physical calendar where I can see my days because I work in 15-minute increments. that just worked best for me, and I have it feel like if I see it, I know what my day consists of.
Yeah. Yeah, that vision, yeah, it definitely helps me too. So, whew, yes, a lot of good pointers, girl. Ooh, yes. So, is there any challenge or the hardship that you got through? You want to share a little bit about that?
I'm be honest. I think challenge come with all the things. One with anything when you in entrepreneurship, right? I know for me, I didn't get the income in the beginning, but I started learning the personal development. And people miss that, right? Oh, I just needed to make $1 million by tomorrow, but in reality, you may have to grow on some things to do that. You may have to be coachable. You may have to allow people to teach you. So that was my biggest challenge coming from corporate America, where I live off my calendar still. My boss didn't have to tell me what to do. I just did my work and went home. To whereas I have a business coach as well. I always tell people, if you don't have a mentor or coach in your business, you need somebody to help guiding you. But that was different for me because I'm like, my coach will tell me to do something. I'm not going to do that. This is my business. So really
Yeah.
just just
Yes.
getting out of my way, and that was the biggest challenge, is really just getting out of my own way. Be coachable, because if your mentors are telling you that, it's something. So that biggest, and how to balance the responsibility of corporate life, family life, entrepreneur, all of that, without losing sight of myself, because that goes back to like being a parent and all of that. You sometimes you focus on so many other things that's not for you, that you continue you lose yourself. And that's how I felt like I was losing myself when I was 100% corporate America waiting to retire. I'm like, oh my God, retirement age keep moving. When is this gonna ever happen to me, right? And then how is this gonna work? So I was losing myself. It was like, this can't be it. This can't be it. So really just trying to figure out, main thing is, Karen, you got a coach for a reason. Listen to your coach. They've done it. They showing you how to do it. And that was the hardest for me, is really just being coachable. It was really just being coachable.
Yeah. Same here, because I can get big headed too. So it's like, if you're not being coachable, who you think will listen to you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
You got to grow through the process to do it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I had to figure a lot of stuff out, but then it's like, okay, you have coaches there. What are you waiting for? You know?
Right, right.
And
And I
I grew up
never
with,
really understood it, Jarika, until I became that coach. I'm like, oh, these people don't listen. Then I had to go back to myself. Like, you wasn't listening in the beginning either. So it's really just a mindset shift. Was the challenge. Really getting that mindset shift, and really changing who I was around and the environment, that made a difference in the beginning too.
yeah, definitely that too. Because I grew up with a lot of women in my family that had secret animosity. They didn't want the best for you. It was all about them, self centered. So when I became an entrepreneur, I did have to change a lot of ways. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, no, this isn't right. You know, it's time for you to get out of your environment, like you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's a whole different lie, but that's another lesson you learn in going to entrepreneurship too, when it comes to family and friends, when you start things and you like, oh, I know I got a bunch of supporters, right? But in reality, most likely, for most people that I know, the family and friends are the least likely to support you. It's those strangers and the network that you get around that help you really grow your business. But yeah, that's a whole different life.
Yes, girl. So, is there another tip or tool you want to share besides being coachable?
um, the biggest tip I would have to share with anybody, that if you ever thought about entrepreneurship, if you ever thought in entrepreneurship, is don't wait to being perfect, right? We want it to be perfect conditions before we start anything. There is no such thing of being perfect. You have to learn to grow through the process. Just stay consistency. The consistency is the main thing for anything. I don't care what it is. You're not going to be perfect. Do it messy. Do it scared. Just do it anyway. I hear this a lot, even when a lot of things that I do in my marketing business. A lot of people say, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the kids to get out of school. Now I'm waiting for them to get out of college. Now I'm waiting. Wait is really robbing people of an opportunity or some things to really really, really dive into it. And I always ask myself, like, if I wouldn't have said yes at 5, almost 6 years ago, I would have still been waiting for what? Because every situation, every life, something have came up had come up every reason, every part of your life. It was first the kids, then it was this. You got to learn to just do it messy, but get it done anyway. The best thing you can do for yourself is just do it. On top of being coachable, because those was the main things. I didn't have any hesitation because a lot of people is scared to do things because they are scared of the backlash that they may get from people, right? So you just got to do it. Don't ever be scared from doing something that you know is going to better your family. So just do it. Don't wait for perfect, because perfect is never going to show up. The right time is never going to be there. And I tell people that is a news flash that I'm telling you, it's never going to be a right time. So just do it.
Yeah. I definitely felt that because you're a little older than me. So I'm taking this. I'm just taking it all in too. Like, that's good. That's good.
Right.
So where can people find?
But jump in there.
Yes. So where can people find you?
I had to write this one down because I know who I am. But I'm a millennial. The best tool I use now on social media is Facebook, and it is Karen Alford on social media. My page is open. Now my Instagram, I'm getting there. It's Boss K81. I'm an 80s baby, so I had to put that in there. And that's KAY. So at Boss K81, and that's on Instagram. And then TikTok is Boss Lady, just K, and that's on TikTok. Again, my main social media will be Facebook. I'm always there to pretty much not only just to motivate people, motivate myself, right? Because motivation don't show up every day. You just have to do it. So motivation, I'm there sharing tips, of course opportunities on all of my platforms, but I am on Facebook 99% of the time.
Okay. All right.
And
Well,
growing
you guys,
my daughter helping me with the other ones.
hey, nothing wrong with that. I hope you guys heard that loud and clear. I'm so grateful that you showed up, Karen. This was so beautiful. And yes, like I always express, I love a boss woman that is breaking curses out here. I am going to continue to show up for you online, and we will obviously probably do this again in the near future. But I'm grateful that you showed up, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.